Is it because that bowl's empty? And it's early in the morning? Shocking, I know. We'll rectify it. This? All right. Meat puck. Bone apple tits. Well, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I was going to pull in here at Bevo Grove down in Fish Creek Park for a while in the opening of this entry in the vlog, but half the parking lot is gone. They're doing some construction. They're doing a whole new walking path as far as I know. I hope that also means they're redoing the washrooms down here because they need to get done bad. Anyway, I'm going to find a different spot because I'm not the only one down here. And this side of the lot that remains is quite full. F it. Decided I'll be down in Fish Creek Park enough. I'm sure going forward, as I usually am. Just found a parking lot here behind a Safeway in the neighborhood of Woodbine in Calgary. Made myself a smoothie because I was getting a little hungry. And yeah, it's starting to get quite cold here in Calgary. That could use a little bit more of a blend. It's a bit on the thick side. Well, I'm just going to deal with that noise. Yeah, it was quite chilly when I woke up this morning. I obviously brought those cold temperatures from the mountains back with me when I was out there filming the last episode. It was a little nippy and very windy, and it was even windier yesterday here in the city. And today, yeah, not cold enough to layer up. I got a long sleeve shirt on underneath, my flannel, and my vest. I'll probably be able to retire the vest later in the afternoon, but I think it's safe to say that winter is on its way. I mean, it's always safe to say that because it kind of always is, but here we go. As a matter of fact, cold enough, I'm going to be outside for a bit here, though. We'll put the gloves on. I could probably get away without my toque. I mean, it would be beneficial, but it's buried in the back at this point. I don't want to be climbing back into the tiny home on wheels right now. And yeah, I'm just going to get to a couple things today, hopefully anyway. One thing for sure, Jeremy, one of my awesome supporters over on Patreon, sent me some new taillights for Lucky. They're very shiny compared to what's back there. There's not necessarily anything quite wrong with the taillights. They're faded, they're old, they're yuck, and I guess Jeremy was sitting there down in Texas watching me going, Ew! You need new taillights. So thank you very much, sir. I mean, I say there's nothing wrong with them, but actually one does have a little bit of an issue. Not that it's actually caused a problem. It's just, That's why we're normally in Fish Creek Park. It's just it's behaving in a way that's like it's a bonus feature that Jeremy doesn't like. So yeah, come around to the back here, you can see, a little faded, a little old. These are probably the factory ones, I would assume, and if they ain't, they've been on here for a while. But yeah, this one, if you can see and look closely, it's acting a little strange. Let's see if we can get that out of there, shall we? Yeah, I'm not 100% sure if this is going to work or not, but why not? Potentially reason number 98 to have a Leatherman? Let's find out. Show me your secrets. Who knew a taillight could do that? That's funny. I was thinking about doing this like with a drill and hitting and getting in there and having it come out, but this is just as fun. Ew! And it's also dirty. Yuck. Nasty. That's actually been that way for a while. So you can't really see, but there's a huge crack here. It comes all the way down the side. There's also a crack there in the white backup light lens part of this tail light, and it comes all the way down here, and this thing just filled with water. Now, oddly enough, it didn't affect the light, but that's because there's no bulbs down here. The two bulbs, there's one here and there's one there. These are just like reflectors as far as I understand how tail lights work. So it's nice that he sent us some new housing, so we will replace that. This the other one on the other side's fine, but he, Jeremy, being he, how rude of me, my apologies, sir. He knew that if he only sent one, it would look funny with the other one because they do look so new. Well, here, let me show you. I'll get the, you'll see what I mean. Right? There's a very clear difference. New, old, new. You get it. So, in order to remove these taillights, it's super simple. There's only three, they're not even screws. They're actually, the screws are mounted to the body of the van. These three eyelets here sit on there, and there's just little 10mm nuts that hold them down. Unfortunately, I'm going to need to reveal the ass of my house to the world in order to do that. But it is what it is. I do live in a cargo van after all. Shame went out the window a long time ago. Speaking of shame, here's all of mine. Catio come out, reveal everything to the rest of the world. Hello, Calgary. Or at least a brick wall in Calgary. So yeah, very simple. I'm just going to get my impact driver to make it even quicker, but you just put the little socket onto these guys. They will spin off. One there, one there. Oh, right. Okay, so I have to also take this one off, and then this cover will come off, and the top nut. Oh, this one's actually missing a nut. What else is new? Hopefully the one on the inside is there. But it's hidden behind this trim piece. Be gone. Impact driver, 10mm socket, nice and simple. Yeah, comes that big nut. 1, 2, a deep socket. Definitely helps. That comes off, there we go. And then this bad boy back here. There we are. Okay, the tiny one, put it there. And this is going to come off, super simple. And we've got our two bulbs back here. Yuck. And these, ooh, spider webs. Anyways, these are our two lights. So, I don't know, for me, I'm just going to remember white on top, gray in the middle. Twist, twist. Ugh. And they're out. Boom. What did I say? White on the top, gray on the middle. One is your tail light and turn signal, and one is the backup lights. You definitely want to make sure they are the same. Go back on there, line it up. Very cool-ish. All right, and then just undo what we did. First one I like to sort of hand start there because there is a little bit of like wiggle room here when you're putting this back on. The space, like the hole where the bolts come through, are bigger than the bolts, so you've got a little bit of wiggle but there is a mark sort of behind the top here that shows you where it was. There you go. Tighten that down. Throw our weird, sticks, yuck, shroud back on like this. This one up here. Bada bing, bada boom. Bob's your bloody uncle. And Fanny, well, she's your aunt. Now, let's make sure that this closes and doesn't hit the lens. Look at that. So shiny. And there we go. 2 new taillight housings. No cracks. More importantly, no water. Most importantly, Jeremy won't be upset looking at Lucky's ass. Thank you again, sir. Speaking of Jeremy and stuff that he sent me, well, I say that, and actually, he sent me a couple things, and there's one thing that's like one of the coolest things, like cooler than these. I mean, it's all very nice, and I appreciate the generosity, Jeremy, don't get me wrong. He will know exactly what I'm talking about, and it's down here behind the driver's seat. But we're not going to get to that in this video. That is a future Matthew problem. Maybe the next one we shall see. It's a little bit more of a deep dive and tearing Lucky apart and whatnot. But no, he actually sent me something a while back. It's up here in my hanging cupboard. This has quickly become another one of my van build regrets. Where is it? There. Nope, that's not it. Hello, I know you're up here. I'm going to need a minute. Be right back. There it is. This thing. So, he sent this to me a while ago. It is, well, here's, just open it up. It's essentially, it's like the world's filled with people going about their days. It's very loud outside. I've never used one of these before. It's a little, basically, it's like a little tiny heating pad for Lucky's oil pan. So, it's this little tiny pad that I would assume heats up, and it's literally just got a cord on it. That's your regular old plug-in. That sounds very cheap. So what I'm going to do first is we're going to plug this into the EcoFlow because I want to see how much power it draws. Because in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, yeah, I'm going to have to crawl underneath Lucky in order to install this thing. Like, it's literally just, I'm assuming this is just an adhesive back. Yeah, you just peel this off. And we got a sticky back here. I hope it's really sticky. Otherwise, it's going to be hanging down. You slap this onto your oil pan and you plug it in overnight and it'll keep the oil pan warm because it's very hard on an engine to start with cold oil. And if you don't know, if you're new around here, well, make sure you hit subscribe and you got notifications turned on so you never miss a Van Life Plus episode. But I live in Canada and we are very rapidly coming into the winter months. As I was previously talking about, it's just going to get colder and colder. And when you get down to temperatures of minus 40, yes, that happens here, oil gets really thick and it's harder on the engine to start with thick oil. So this, in theory, keeps the oil pan warm, which will keep the oil a little thinner than it would be if you didn't have it. I don't know. Like I said, I don't have any experience with this thing, but Jeremy sent it to me, and we're going to give it a good old college try. My concern, right off the bat, is that this cord's not going to be long enough to really reach anywhere, because like my oil pan's basically directly underneath the shitter, more or less. So then this cord's going to run out, but where's it going to go? So obviously I'm going to have to zip tie it to the frame and stuff, and then of course my brain being the DIY kind of person that I am, what you would then do is then you would plug this into your house or whatever, right? Well, I don't have a house. I have a home on wheels currently. I am planning on quitting van life, though. Let's not forget about that. I want to see if I can plug it into myself. Everybody just calm down. I've got my inverter here, and I've got an external power outlet that on those cold days, if I could just plug into that. But I'm getting off track here. That or I'm just overthinking, which I do. The cord's not going to be long enough, so I'm probably going to have to get a small extension cord to run from this to the outside of Lucky, sort of thing. So it sounds like there's a trip to Canadian Tire in our immediate future. But for now, let's get this plugged into the EcoFlow and see just how much power it draws when it's warming up. I wonder if I can do that with the cardboard on here still. That's probably ill-advised. Can I remove this, then put it back on? Huh. Okay, let's make sure we put the sticky side up. And we're going to plug this into this side of the EcoFlow. Right over here. Hello. There we are. I've unplugged everything else. Let's see what she does. Ooh. Well, that's a fun number. So I'm going to give that a minute, and I'm going to see if it gets any Ooh. Oh yeah, you feel it right away. Oh. Wow, that's instant. It's nice and warm. It's not going to come across on the camera. I don't want to touch that too much. We're going to get rid of the adhesiveness of it. But even on this side, you feel it. That's pretty cool. Yeah, 69 watts. And the EcoFlow is at 67% right now. So at 67%, drawing 60, well, not as fun, 68 watts. It says it can do that for 13 hours. So with a full EcoFlow, this is going to get you through the night for sure. And whether or not it's going to make a difference to the actual oil pan, I don't know. Ooh, I can smell it. It's actually heating up. Like, maybe we'll unplug it. We now know. We don't need to just have this little orange square heating itself in our tiny home on wheels. My goodness. Okay, oi! But yeah, it's got the very first time it's been lit sort of smell happening right now. Okay, unfortunately, I cannot find my zip ties. They're probably in the Jeep. I'm thinking when I unloaded my center console there when the van was going in to get those brakes done. I emptied all that out to make it look neat and tidy and basically lie and make them think I'm a very clean person. But when I stop and think about it, like that, maybe it's in the Jeep. So I'll just pick up a few more zip ties because, like I said, I'm going to crawl underneath Lucky, put that on the oil pan. I'm probably going to want to get some isopropyl alcohol just to make sure that this adhesive really takes. Like just to clean the oil pan a bit. It's also going to be a pain in the ass because I'm just over a year after back surgery and worming around on the ground. That's actually what caused my disc to rupture, my bulging disc. So I'm not looking forward to that. Plus I'm going to I don't want to be crawling around on my vest. This is a heated vest. I don't want to tear it. So I'm thinking maybe this is going to be a job for the Canadian Tire parking lot. So it's probably time to tally freaking ho, and away we go. Penny! Sack up! She couldn't give a shit. Let's see if we can get this back on here just for the trip to Canadian Tire, just so nothing attaches itself to the pad. It's still nice and warm. That's crazy. I think this is going to work. It's going to work out well. I need a new extension cord for my shore power. I'm going camping this weekend to a campground that has power, so it'll be nice to have that. And I've got a gift card to Canadian Tire, so I got to get that. Probably a smaller version for that as well. Actually, we probably don't need to buy one. Because what I'll probably be able to do is I should be able to fasten that underneath the van and just have that little like plug-in available somewhere, hopefully nondescript and under the body, that I can then just use. Like I've got a cord right here that should work just fine for running that. So let's not waste any more money in that regard, but I do need a bigger, longer, -40 rated extension cord because I had one, that blue one, and I lent it to somebody to mow their lawn, and when I got it back, it was missing a ground plug. So it still works, but it's not as safe. Ill-advised. Where are my keys? All right. Turn off the house lights. Shut the side door. Ugh. Okay, slowly getting back into the swing of things. Oh yes, I forgot to mention in the last episode, that was already done, but you could just hear them very well in that previous clip. Lucky's got her winter booties on. Yes, sirree, Bob. There they are. She got her winter booties with her cleats on. That's what makes the clicky-clack noise. So nice and prepared for whenever the snow decides to show up. I was trying to get ahead of the rush, and I had her in there. I think last week is when I had the appointment made. I actually made the appointment when I had the Jeep there a few months ago and I was getting the tires rotated. So we're definitely ahead of the curve. It just kind of sucks because I'm driving around on brain fart. Studs. I wanted to say cleats again, but I wanted to say the correct term. Studded tires. Sucks when you're driving around on pavement. It kind of wears them down faster, but it's all about timing. I also just realized that I was like, I can turn on the inverter and that's what will charge the little pad to heat the oil pan, and then we tested on the EcoFlow and I said when the EcoFlow runs it. So those are two different power sources. The way my system is currently set up, that exterior outlet does run off of Lucky's inverter, but 69 or 68 watts of power all night on the inverter, don't think I'd want to put it through that strain. So I'll have to get into my electrical box and run another extension cord from that external plug that can then plug into the EcoFlow. I'd rather have that power station running that little oil pan heating blanket and just let Lucky take care of the diesel heater that keeps me warm. Morning. I'm gonna get lucky, I think. Yep, zip ties. Same aisle as extension cords. All right. It's a lot of choice. Yeah, that'll do. All right. The only problem with those winter rated extension cords, they ain't cheap. But Lucky, you got a new one. There you go. Let's not lend it to anybody this time. And we got 100 zip ties. I don't think we're going to need all 100 of them, but it's always good to have those on hand if there's one thing I've learned about van life and zip ties. Okay, and yeah, I was talking about not wanting to crawl around on my vest. I don't want to crawl around on pavement at all. So there's actually, we're not too far from a location I'm fairly familiar with. So I think we're gonna get the good ship Lucky heading in that direction. And if I'm correct, I should be able to pull up onto some grass. Oh, hello. You woke up. Yeah, this should do. We can still get a little dirty, but at least it will be softer and we shouldn't cause any tears to our vest. This is a nice little area down here, just up the alley here and around the corners where my grandparents used to live. Talked about them a lot on my channel. They're a huge part of my life, and this is like less than 7 minutes from where my parents used to live. So this whole area of the city is very near and dear to my heart. And yeah, this is actually a off-leash area down here. It's right on the LRT line, right there, public transit. Thank you, that was perfect timing, everybody. But yeah, this is an off-leash run, right? And I've actually just up there, and again on this side of the alley, I filmed a video back in, there's a chapter 2, maybe chapter 3 near the beginning when I was putting in my lead time battery. So yeah. This is, I completely forgot about this, and as you can see, the alley breaks away up onto the grass here, and much, much better to be crawling under the van on this than concrete. So I'm gonna get myself set up as much as I can. That basically means just carry everything underneath there and take a quick peek. I'm assuming the design, it would be that the pad goes on the oil pan and then the cable would run this way underneath up into the engine bay area, so that the plug would then either be maybe routed up and come through your grill or something like that, so that when you like park your vehicle in your driveway, easy to plug in, just like a block heater, right? But that's not what we're gonna do. We are going to hopefully run the cable from the oil pan out into this area, and obviously as short of a distance as we can make to this plug. Or, I mean, I guess alternatively, since Lucky's doors aren't like super sealed, could also just have a cord run up through the door, and then just plug straight into the EcoFlow. Then I don't have to worry about going under the bed and farting around with the other end of this cable to try to connect it to the EcoFlow. I know a lot of people get uppity when they're like, "Don't run power cords through the door." I'm an adult and I'm gonna do whatever I want. Decided to be smart on another level as well and take off the light blue jeans that so easily stain from grass. Put on some black chinos. That should be a little bit better for this sort of task. And now, like most things, when I'm farting around underneath Lucky, it's very hard to film under there. So let me just sort of install this the best I can, and then we'll take a peek at whatever nonsense I come up with after. Also, I didn't get isopropyl alcohol because I didn't feel like making another stop. Couldn't find any of that at Canadian Tire. So we just used Brake Clean to clean the oil pan as best we could. Oh God. Okay. Yikes. that under there. The oil pan's a lot further up towards the front than I initially thought. It was nowhere near the shitter. Here we go. Okay. What's done is done. It's on as good as it's going to get, I think, for now. Because I was running it along the frame, and I was having this thought. I'm like, wait a second. It was minus 40 out when I'm going to be plugging this thing in. I don't want to be having to get down on the ground in the Walmart parking lot and reach up under here to get at the plug, right? So, I mean, the way I'm doing this right now, there's better ways for sure, but we're just wanting to get it installed and have it available. This is kind of like the best bet right now. So I think, yeah, so right here by the tire, I'll be able to sort of reach it. I put it in the mount here. We come down here. I'm gonna have to get a cap for this plug for sure, but it's right here. I'm still gonna have to get on the ground, I guess, but at least it's not reaching too far under, right? So if I get a little cap for this to protect it from the weather and whatnot, it can just sort of live up in there, the bottom of the mountain. Even if it pops out, it's not gonna hit the ground. But that's this little hideaway in there, right? And then this is where my attempt, I was gonna bring it this way. I zip tied this, and then I realized I don't wanna lay down on the ground and grab shit off of the frame from way back there. So I looped it back up here, and see how close I can get it. This is not ideal. Okay, here. So there it is on the bottom of the oil pan. And we're trying to do this in one pullback motion. So you got the cable runs there, gets zip tied there. Comes over here, gets zip tied. And then reorient the camera back to normal. So that's it. It stuck really well, so the adhesive is good. Plus, I mean, the oil pan's hot. It's weird. In my brain, I'm like, if I want stuff to be sticky, heat it up. But is it going to get too hot? Is it going to destroy the adhesive? It shouldn't. But that's one reason I put this zip tie here as close to the actual pad as possible. So if it does come off, it won't like drag on the ground. It should just hang down here-ish. I don't think I can put any more reinforcement on that. Maybe I can pull it back a bit. Put another one there. But yeah, I'd say by and large, look, he's got a little heating pad. Yay! I can't get up. I need an adult. You gonna do anything today? Guess not. Oh, now she's up. Yo, what? Over here. I don't know how well that's going to hold up, I mean, I'm sure it will work fine once I actually plug it in on a cold winter's eve and it warms the oil up. We'll have to do a test. I don't think I'll be able to test the opposite way and let the oil harden unless, of course, I forget to plug that thing in. But you also never know what kind of weather you're going to get. I mean, I can guarantee you we'll get at least probably one day of minus 40. I can't remember a winter of my entire life being in Calgary where there wasn't at least that. More often than not, it's like a week. It's usually around January, February, so we're definitely a ways off from that happening. But at least now it's out of that cupboard in the back of Lucky and where it is supposed to be. So again, thank you, Jeremy. No more projects where I got to crawl around under the van, please and thank you. And yes, for those that are wondering, I could have done that when I had the van up on the hoist at that garage where you can rent the bays when I was doing my front brakes, but I forgot. There's no other explanation. Got to put my snippies back in the back. I don't know if it's actually gotten warmer out here, if it's just because I've been crawling around on the ground like a savage, but I don't think I need the vest at this exact moment. So there, that's nicer. I guess I should do some dishes while I'm here. Grass all over my full flannel. Shocking. Clean out the blender and then be on my way. That's what I like about these little, well, I guess it's any blender, but these ones are really nice for van life because they're basically self-cleaning. I mean, they say self-cleaning. Self-cleaning to me means I could just leave it there and it would clean itself. If it doesn't do that, it's not self-cleaning. If I have to do this, that's me cleaning. But I get what they mean. Fill it with some water and then, cycle it a few times and whatnot. Blueberry really truly can be one of the hardest things to clean. That nonsense. Water! Quality content. Quality content. Also, I don't know what it is, but my like system these days has been filling this glass bottle full of water from my water supply, putting this in the fridge to chill it, get it nice and cold. Then in the morning, I empty this into my very subtle Yeti water bottle. And then I've got my water for the day. And then I, fill this, put it back in the fridge, and the cycle continues. Well, the last little while, the water's been starting to taste funny. So I don't know if this bottle's just needs to be cleaned. It shouldn't. It has water in it for like less than 8 hours. Well, maybe not that, but it's only ever had water in it. Maybe I need to cycle some vinegar through this thing. That, or I'm wondering if, and I don't, this can't possibly be it, but my diesel heater is directly underneath my water tank, right? But it's connected to ducting that runs over here and the heat comes out into the cab. But I didn't really start noticing the water tasting different until I started using my diesel heater. So it could just be a complete coincidence, but I'm wondering if the heat is heating the water in the tank just enough that it's changing it. Does that make sense? I'm not a scientist. I don't know. It's just annoying that my water is yucky nar. Not so much that I'm not going to continue to drink it, but it's noticeable. All right, BlendJet. Self-cleaning mode activated. It's actually my second BlendJet. My old one was a nice pink one, but the shaft got a crack in it, just like my tail light. And unfortunately, the tail light could still function. The blender, ill-advised to use with a giant crack in the plastic portion. But it was on sale, so I got another one. Lavender was the only color that Walmart carried. This is so not self-cleaning. And I actually had a couple people recommend I think it's called the Ninja Blast, which is a very similar idea. This little portable USB powered or rechargeable battery powered blender. And it's actually a little bit bigger. My friend had one. So I'm aware of it, and it is nice, but I had a subscriber of mine, hi Andrea, send me this little sippy cup lid that's obviously only for the BlendJet. And she sent that to me. I think I got it like a couple days after the old one broke. And it's just been floating around in the van ever since the rebuild and everything. So obviously I had to go with another BlendJet so I could use the sippy cup lid. All right. Bon voyage. Now it's not even clean yet. Well, because I let it sit for too long, if I'm being honest. Now it's clean. Need to brush my teeth and all of that nice dental hygiene stuff. Holy crap, I'm already through. Really? Didn't I just buy one? Apparently I probably use too much mouthwash when I'm doing it. But I've got into the habit of when I'm brushing my teeth at night, spitting into my disposable bottle, let's say. We've got the new one now, which is nice. But that's not ideal. It's kind of yucky, and you do it from a height because you don't want to get your lips close to the opening of the bottle for very good reason. So my idea is I changed my pants, so I don't have my Leatherman on my hip. How embarrassing. My idea is this. With all of the canned fruit I've been eating, I held onto this can. Remove the label because who needs to have a reminder of what was in the can? Take this off, and this is going to be my spittoon can for when I'm brushing my teeth, right? So specifically for that, mouthwash, water pick, toothpaste, and then turn into a little bit of a scientist, I suppose, and just woo! My mouth doesn't have to go anywhere near everybody, just calm down. But you understand what I'm saying? Let's put it into practice, shall we? Where's that mouthwash? Perfect! Into the spittoon. Yum. Worked like a charm there. Lid off. Hold your breath. And then with a little spritz of the vinegar in here, we can keep the can clean. Van life. I know some people might be wondering, well, why go through all of this with the can and the bottle if I have a sink in the van, right? That's a very good question. Unlike my first build, this sink does not drain into a bottle. My old one did. The drain went right into one of those big blue water jugs I repurposed as like a gray water tank. But that was something that I removed from this build because by and large, this cupboard is storage for things. Way too many things at this point in time. Don't look in there. But the drain goes right through the floor and out the van to the outside, which is great in terms of saving space in the cupboard and when I'm camping, right? But when I'm in the Walmart parking lot, which is most of the time, I don't want stuff like toothpaste and mouthwash going into the parking lot. That seems a little ignorant if you ask me, which is why I've been using the bottle for that stuff. Water and whatnot, like if I filled the sink with ice, if I was having like a hoedown in here or something, didn't it require that much ice and it's just water draining down, well then fine, like whatever. But yeah, I don't want this sort of stuff going on to the parking lot. That just seems silly. Also, and not another reason, I mean, that's the only reason I would do it this way, but I don't use this sink as much, and this is like my number 2 biggest regret with the redesigned build in Lucky 2.0, as we've been coming to call it around these parts, is that this thing sucks in terms of being a sink. And it's pretty obvious why. I don't know why I thought this would work. I can tell you why I thought it would work. It's because I watched somebody on YouTube do just this. This stainless steel rectangle is, in actuality, I need to sit up on my poop bucket for a second here. It is a tray that goes into a buffet, you know what I mean? And then underneath they've got the water that keeps the food warm inside. That's what its intention was. And I drilled a hole in it and I put a drain in it and everything based off of a YouTube video from somebody else. Only because I liked the aesthetic of it being a rectangle. My old sink was a stainless steel bowl that I drilled a hole in. And it worked great. You want to know why? Because the bowl goes down. The bottom is at the bottom of the thing. This is flat. Nothing goes to the hole. I hate it when things don't go to the hole. Don't you? Super annoying. Like I've thrown water into the sink before and then I've woken up in the morning and it's still there. And then I'm getting paper towel and I'm dabbing it in my sink. All the while thinking, the hell am I doing with my life? So yeah, I do regret this. And it's just really, it's now at this point, it's just become a place to put stuff. Like I'll put my water bottle in there, the blender, the vinegar can go in here. Also, of course, the tin can can live in here. Although I have to be careful that this doesn't get water on the bottom. Otherwise, we're going to end up with really ugly rust rings everywhere. Not that it matters because the sink sucks. Again, I don't have my Leatherman sheath on my hip. I need to put my jeans back on. But yeah, that's the story behind the sink there and why I don't use it as a sink. Twofold reason. All right, we get cleaned up here and we're going to move right along. Oh, man. Comes to my van life, I love finding garbage cans like this in sort of out of the way spots where I can just sort of park for a bit. And it's a great excuse to clean the house and get rid of some things. That's what I've been doing. I'm doing a little bit of organizing in the good ship Lucky for the last half hour or so. Dropping garbage on the ground as well. Back into the house here. Let's get my bench made back on my door. I had that off. I'm not sure why. I think maybe I took it off and brought it with us to BC when we just ripped out there in Grace? I don't remember. But it was in the front, so it's back where it belongs, on the door, easy access. We'll come back in here. And yeah, I've just been doing a little bit of tidying. I still need to clean off the feet of Penny's food dishes. They're a little yuck, but gotta have something to do in the future. And I was organizing these baskets here. I had a whole bunch of stuff in here. It's just looking a little tidier. Up here is not the best. Can get rid of this stuff though, I suppose. Ugh. I like this neat and tidy. It would be nice if this could sit here because I absolutely love this thing. I guess I haven't talked about this on the actual vlog yet. I only mentioned it on the live stream pre-show before the Chapter 4 finale. It's really cool. This came from Maryland. It was a belated birthday present, and it's a barrel, right? And inside is a really nice highball glass. It says vintage, aged to perfection, and has my year of birth on it. So I used that on the last live stream, and it's awesome. It also came Some of those giant like balls with liquid in it that it's in the freezer right now. You freeze it and you can put it in here. So if you're sipping like whiskey or whatnot, the ice won't dilute your whiskey. I like my drinks over the rocks, but that's really cool. It also came with these cute little tongs for grabbing ice. So got you covered on both fronts, depending on how you like to chill your drinks. And of course, the cozy little barrel that it resides in. But I don't think it would stay there, unfortunately. I don't want to Velcro it down or alien tape it down or anything. So we'll leave it there for now and see. But again, it also causes this space to be a little bit more cluttered, which I'm not a fan of. I also tied it up in here a bit more, even though it doesn't probably look like it. Shut up. And that brings me to what I wanted to do now. I'm going to put it up there. Up here, I had this, which was my grandfather's, or maybe it was my grandmother. It was my grandparents, probably my grandfather's. He was the fisherman. But it's the fisherman's prayer, and it's been up there on Lucky for the longest time. May the good Lord help me see the day when I catch the one that got away. This was up in their kitchen when I was growing up, if I'm remembering correctly. I'm sure my mom will correct me if I'm not correct in remembering that. But I'm pretty sure that's where it was. And I've had it in my possession ever since my grandfather passed, and it was actually on the wall in my sticks and bricks where I lived right before I moved. Well, not right before I moved into the van, because I went back to mom and dad's for a little bit, blah, 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 blah. It was up in the kitchen and my old apartment, and it's been in my tiny home on wheels for the longest time. We're going to actually relocate it because I was just fortunate enough to receive this new plaque that's got the Irish blessing on it, and I'm going to put it up there. And it's really nice blessing. It goes, may the roads rise to meet you, may the winds be always at your back, may the sun shine warm upon your face, the rains fall soft upon your fields, and until we meet again, may God hold you in the hollow of his hand. Well, that was beautiful. So we're going to get some alien tape, we're going to stick it up there, and then we will find a spot for the fisherman's prayer, because these are all going to stay with us until I find myself back in Sticks and Bricks, and they're probably going to come into the Sticks and Bricks with me. Because they wouldn't have to. They could just stay in Lucky, because we'll still be using Lucky to go camping and on all sorts of adventures and whatnot. It's just as busy over here. It's not just as busy. But when the big-ass truck goes by, it sounds like it's just as busy. Anyway, getting off track. Got my double-sided alien tape. We're going to get some of these plaques remounted in the tiny home on wheels. All right, well, I'm running out of wall space quite quickly in here, actually, for like places where I could at least still see these things. So I'm not affiliated with them. The fisherman's prayer is now going to live right here on the refrigerator, because unlike an apartment or a house or whatever that has a refrigerator that you can put magnets on, this isn't magnetic. But there you go. The alien tape will hold that up there real good. I hope I can get that off in the future. Yikes. Anyway, it's not going anywhere. Enjoy your new home, fisherman's prayer. I'm generating more garbage. I should have done this before I took the bag out. The little backing from the tape. One up here. Probably don't need this much tape, honestly. This stuff is so sturdy. Maybe I'll knock it back a bit for the bottom here and see how it goes. Irish blessing. Welcome to the good ship Lucky. Right up there. Oh, make sure it's straight. That's my tens machine. I have that strapped to my back right now. I'm going to do another round of it. Oh, yeah, for people that ask too, the brand of my wireless tens machine is AccuRelief, if you're looking for it. Came from a subscriber through Amazon, as far as I know. Yours probably won't come with a nasty little hair attached to it. There we go. That looks great. Stuff coming together. I always like adding new little touches. Speaking of adding new touches to the van, there was a pumpkin patch / Halloween Parents' Day at Brooklyn School the other day when I picked her up, and we made this picture frame together. So, right, she did majority of it. I drew our names on it, not very well. Then we got our photo taken, so I need to go get that printed because it's not a... I'll have to probably submit it and get it printed because it's a square, not a 4x6, which is the standard when you go to those self-serve kiosks. But yeah, this, I've been saving a spot basically right there-ish. There's a future Matthew problem. Yeah, it looks great. Okay, speaking of the pirate princess, she made a formal request for pasta for dinner tonight, which is good because Dad actually has some left over still. Just need to get a few more ingredients. This is normally a night where we would be going over to Lindsay and Sadie's, but they're actually busy tonight. Well, we're still going over to Lindsay's and Sadie's. We're just going to utilize the kitchen there, but it's just going to be the two of us for dinner tonight. So I've got a gift card here that came from Barb for my birthday. Thank you, my dear. So we're going to go utilize that and get the last of the ingredients for this pasta. Get your poop in a group. All right, Miss P. I will be right back with some ingredients for dinner. Then you look like you probably need a treat. Yeah. That's the first time I've seen it in stores. Excellent. There, it feels good. What are these? The tomatoes are not coming in cute little boxes? Or is it just we're reducing plastic? This is just as bad as the straws. It's not as bad as the straws. This box won't turn into a wet diaper because I'm not sucking any liquid through it. The last of the yogurt, and they have the honey here. Excellent. Don't need this for the pasta, but Lucky needs a restock.
$6.99. Key in total number of bags used and touch enter. Slide your card on the side of this monitor.
Gift card wouldn't swipe. That's okay, because there was a man manning the self-checkouts that made it work. He plugged it into his little computer at the front. Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt. Gotta stop it. We gotta stop saying it, don't we, Penny? It all worked out well, so thank you again, Barb. That will be more than enough dinner for myself and the little pirate princess tonight. Let's get the perishables into the refrigerator. Hello. Give me a second. I've got too many things in this refrigerator at the moment. I should have brought my little Yeti cooler with me. Would have made it way easier. There we go. Made it work. All right, Miss P, you looking for some treats? You remember what I said? Yes, did you remember what I said? All right, let's see what we got. I don't know if we have any left in here. We gave you the last one from that. Oh, here, do you want some greenies? Yeah, does that sound good? You like these ones? Good for your teeth. You have to actually chew them, not just swallow them whole like a savage. All right, one more. You're spoiled. You're a spoiled putty tat. It's over here. It's over here. Now it's over here. Arr, arr, arr. Good girl. Boop. Get that. Better than using the floor. Bless you. Hotel Walmart. I'm gonna want my swivel seat tonight too, so back here, move our seat over there. Excellent. Now we got the room. Lucky's still running because I'm just making sure that everything is topped up when it comes to the house batteries. And yeah, you can see here, these are the sort of readings you want to get. House battery at 14.4, starter battery at 14.2. We're only drawing 18 watts from the alternator, and that is because we are all tippy topped up. Yeah, all the power in the world. We can turn on a diesel heater and not worry about dying. Not that is going to happen tonight because it's not going to get that cold yet. We would be just fine. We'd just snuggle under our pirate blanket. Yes, I got my towel hung up as well. It's drying. You hungry? I think I put your can of food. Where did I put it? I had it out. Uh-oh. Did I put it back in here? I sure did. There you go. This is just how we started the day. It's just how we start and end every day, isn't it? That's how you keep the big fat pussy alive. There you go, darling. Yeah, a little bit more, you deserve it. And yes, I'll give you some cookies, because I know how you hate to see the bottom of that bowl. Squeaky clean. Okay. Lid onto the food. Food on the counter for the morning time. Let's move our backpack up here as well. There we go. All right. We bought a... forgot we bought a new extension cord. That's a heavy-duty guy, too. But now we can camp on the weekend and not care how cold it gets. Well, that's pretty much it for this one. I got to take some dirty laundry over to the Irish Pirate Queen and put it in the bag there. Actually, it's probably getting quite full. So tomorrow's probably going to be a laundry day. I did get some packages in the mail. They're down here. But I'm going to save those for the next video just because this one's going on and I'm tired and ready to call it a night. Walmart walk, laundry, the night. So thank you very much for watching, everybody. I hope you're enjoying the start to chapter 5. I sure am. And until the next one, just go out there, be happy, be creative, be yourselves. Most importantly, be positive. Remember that you can't make everybody happy because you're not tacos.